So this is the follow-up to our first garden video, and it has a tour of our actual finished garden. We spent the earlier part of the year in the winter putting it together, and it took a little while, didn't it?
It did. It took a couple of months, a bunch of visits. We even brought Zach here to help us, and we put in, I think, 45 or 46 posts.
A lot of hard work went into this. First we planned the garden area, put in the posts, installed the cedar fencing, we set up water barrels. We also had to install the metal fencing along the top and put in a garden gate. Oh my goodness.
It's 5,000 square feet of area. It's crazy big.
Let's go take a look. So in the end, we did decide to go with the two different types of fencing. The first one, most of it is fenced with the split cedar. So this is nice and sturdy. It's tall enough that the deer here can't get in. And then we also did part with this kind of cattle panel fencing. And we did this so you could see through it really well. So when you come down the driveway, the part of the garden that faces the driveway is open. You can see right into it, kind of like a display. So we liked the look of that so that you could see right in. Here we are at the main garden gate. This is the one that will end up being kind of by the house. We're calling it the grand entrance. And it's just a screen that we picked up off of Marketplace. And Chris built this lovely arbor to kind of finish it off. I think it looks really nice. Super easy to get in and out. So this is just inside the garden gate, and we built all this stuff and planted it, and then we weren't able to come here for a lot of months because of COVID, and we had travel restrictions. So everything has gotten super wild in here, but it's interesting to see what has thrived and what has not. I planted, like, the last thing I put in here were little sweet pea seedlings, and they have gone absolutely nuts. I never got the trellis done for them, but they've kind of adapted and grown anyway. Over on this side, I planted onions and carrots, and look at the onions. They're starting to flower, but it's really cool. It's just things that I never would have let get that far. You come back and you've got, it's always a surprise, I guess. Here's a little overview of the whole garden. You can see the split cedar fence in the background. And we're gonna take a little walk down the side path. So like I said, everything is wild and overgrown because we were not here to take care of it. But we did throw down a few pieces of weed tarp before we left in the winter. And thank goodness we did, because that's the only way you can actually get around right now. So we're gonna go down one of the weed tarp paths. We've been trying to take out thistle as we go. And the first zone here is the raspberry planter. We've actually got raspberries growing right now. These were just little sticks when we left in the winter. It's really cool to come back and like everything is mature and grown. Farther down we've got blackberries. So we've got a bunch of different varieties of blackberries. We're planning on moving most of these, but we ran out of time in the winter, so we just wanted to get everything planted.
Welcome to Blueberry Lane. We've got some Chandler, Duke, Blue Gold, the Liberties. They didn't transplant so well. The Rika are the first ones to start turning blue. Let's see here. Big and juicy. And then we have Blue Crop, and then we have a couple of Elliott over there. So we're trying to water all the plants. We've got a full barrel of water, no pressure, but this timer works with no pressure. We set it to go off every day or two, down the 1/2 inch and then into the 1/4 inch, and then it drips on the bushes.
We did get a few apple trees planted as well. This is the Granny Smith apple tree. It's a semi-dwarf. And then we do have a dwarf Granny Smith on the other side of the blueberries as well. And way in the back here, you can kind of see there is a Honeycrisp apple tree. It's looking really nice. It's kind of in the middle of a pile of weeds, but we've been trying to slowly reclaim the ground around it, which is a little difficult. You can see the wildness is a bit hard to tame. We got a little rose bush and everything over here as well, but it's gonna take some years before we can actually get rid of all the invasive weeds in here, but that's okay. We're picking away at it slowly but surely. So my plan for these apple trees was to have companion plants going with them. So I had a little apple guild planned here, but unfortunately it was taken over, big time taken over by weeds. So that'll have to be next year's project. That's a small one. And it actually has a full fence now. Tell us. Yes. Okay. Start again. It's a little bit wild. Nope, don't like any of that. I'm bad at this. Okay, one more.